The sixth-generation fighter will likely have directed energy weapons, high-powered microwaves and lasers for defense against incoming missiles or as offensive weapons themselves. Munitions would likely be of the dial and effect type, able to cause anything from impairment to destruction of an air or ground target. Materials and microelectronics technologies would combine to make the aircraft a large integrated sensor, possibly eliminating the need for a nose radar as it is known today. It would be equipped for making cyber attacks as well as achieving kinetic effects, but would still have to be cost-effective to make, service, and modify. Moreover, the rapid advancement of unmanned aircraft technologies could, in 20 years or so, make feasible production of an autonomous robotic fighter. However, that is considered less likely than the emergence of an uninhabited but remotely piloted aircraft with an off-board crew, possibly comprising many operators. Not clear, yet, is whether the mission should be fulfilled by a single, multi-role platform or a series of smaller, specialized aircraft working in concert. Forecast that vast amounts of data will be available to the pilot, who may or may not be on board the aircraft. The pilot will see wide-ranging, intuitive views of the extended world around the aircraft. The aircraft will collect its own data and seamlessly fuse it with off-board sensors, including those on other aircraft. The difference from fifth generation will be the level of detail and certainly the long-sought automatic target recognition. The United States and several European nations are pursuing next-generation fighters. While many details are closely held or are still being fleshed out, a picture is starting to emerge of the capabilities they will possess. A mock-up of a Franco-German-Spanish stealth jet, part of the Future Combat Air System, or FCAS, was unveiled at the Paris Air Show in June. It came about a year after the United Kingdom displayed a model of a Tempest platform at the Farnborough Air Show. Across the Atlantic, the U.S. Air Force and Navy are planning to develop their own next-generation air dominance capabilities. Survivability against sophisticated enemy air defenses is expected to be a key requirement of sixth-generation systems that might have to square off against advanced adversaries, such as China or Russia. It has to be able to penetrate the worst potential defenses we could be up against, Air Force Chief of Staff Gen. David Goldfein said in a recent interview with National Defense. The U.S. Air Force's Air Superiority 2030 flight plan outlined a need for a new penetrating counter-air platform that could go deep into enemy airspace and conduct kinetic and non-kinetic attacks. While fifth-generation platforms such as the F-35 and F-22 are low observable against today's X-band radars, the concept of stealth will likely be broader for future systems, said retired fighter pilot Gen. Hawk Carlyle, president and CEO of the National Defense Industrial Association and the former commander of Air Combat Command. It has got to try to be stealthier across more of the radar spectrum. It has to be stealthy in the IR spectrum. It has to be stealthy in the electromagnetic spectrum and how much it emits. It has to be stealthy in other ways, he said. When we talk about 6th Gen, it's multispectral stealth across as many sensor capabilities as exist out there. Another way to improve survivability is to suppress enemy air defense systems with electronic warfare tools or shoot down their missiles and fighter jets, analysts have noted. Lockheed Martin has been chosen as a significant partner of Mitsubishi Heavy Industries in the Japanese FX fighter program, citing DEFENCE-24, and according to report from Nikkei.com. However, this will not be the only foreign contractor to provide the necessary technologies. Recall that in 2018, after years of deliberation and before unsuccessful attempts to purchase F-22 Raptor fighters, the Japanese authorities decided to finance their FX fighter program. Simultaneously, it was announced that the Japanese industry would play a leading role in it, and foreign companies will support it, mainly as suppliers of know-how and technology. In October this year, the Japanese government selected Mitsubishi Heavy Industries as the main contractor for the new aircraft, responsible for designing the machine and integrating its specific systems. This means that Japan will create its first combat aircraft of the third generation of the Mitsubishi F1. However, the FX project will involve a total of about 1,000 companies. Where possible, Japanese. Where not, there will be foreign solution providers. Among the Japanese giants responsible for the essential systems of the future machine, which will probably be called the Mitsubishi F3, today is Nikkei's list. Subaru, responsible for the landing and landing gear subsystem, Toshiba and Fujitsu, which must create a suitable radar, and Mitsubishi Electric in charge of the electronic warfare system. Companies from the Anglo-Saxon countries will also benefit. The choice of Lockheed Martin, which is yet to be officially announced, is to assign the company tasks related to integrating systems, including radar and missiles, stealth properties, maneuverability, and the ability to quickly develop new technologies. This company's choice aims to strengthen Tokyo's political ties with Washington and allow for optimal interaction of the F-3 with the F-22 and F-35, and a door to cooperation with Northrop Grumman, considered the owner of the best solutions in the field of network orientation. Japan is one of the countries that has applied for the IBCS Air Defense Management System's price and availability, which could be integrated, for example, by local patriots and adapting to work with the F-35. According to Nikkei, Lockheed Martin had to beat two other companies vying for the most important foreign partners status. These were Boeing and BAE Systems. The latter is expecting to continue to play a prominent FX role as an electronic warfare technology provider. The Japanese estimate that the program to create multi-purpose aircraft will cost them $48 billion. Ultimately, they want to build 90 machines that will go into service in 2035. The planes will be challenging to detect thanks to physical and electronic stealth, have a wide range and ability for network-oriented cooperation, and their F-35 and American F-35 and F-22. Tokyo has explicitly stated that aircraft construction responds to expanding the People's Republic of China's military potential, whose potential in the number of fighter jets he estimates as over 1,000. The Japanese also point to the desire to present fifth-generation fighters from China and the Russian Federation. The Japanese Ministry of Defense announced on August 4 that the responsibility for the construction of the next-generation fighter, currently known as the FX, will be taken by a single company, which will be a single prime contractor. Other news from recent days is the decision to build 105 F-35A and B for Japan at the Nagoya assembly plant. The same service from which Tokyo gave up 2 years ago in this respect. This means that in the coming years Japan will become a great center for the construction and production of top-class combat aircraft. The beneficiary in both cases will most likely be Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, MHI, which previously performed, inter alia, combat aircraft F-1 and currently serving F-2. Japanese Defense Minister Taro Kono said the main contractor, systems and engine integrator for MHI's domestic aircraft, will be almost certainly. In turn, the FACO, Final Assembly and Checkout line located in Nagoya, is a plant created in cooperation with MHI and the F-35 manufacturer Lockheed Martin. Interestingly, in 2018, after the first aircraft were assembled there, it was decided that it would be more profitable to import ready-made machines from the United States and in Japan to focus on their servicing, modernization, inspection and maintenance. Now, apparently, important improvements have been made to the Japanese FACO, as the Japanese say that assembling the machines will not be more expensive now, but cheaper than importing from the USA. This means taking the pressure off the troubled Lockheed Martin production lines in Fort Worth and possibly developing new methods to reduce aircraft construction costs and their time. It is also possible that Japan is mainly not about money, but about maximizing the independence of the F-35 acquisition program and thus increasing the efficiency of its production and the speed of its implementation into service. In the current geopolitical situation in the Far East, it would not be surprising. The Heavy FX program is also to be run with maximum possible use of domestic industry. Still, the Japanese assume international cooperation. Only 2 countries indicate in this context: the USA and Great Britain. In particular, it is desirable to work with Washington as the most experienced owner of the appropriate technologies and strategic partner on the international stage.